Am I starting?
Yeah,
Is that what you're asking? Am I
yeah,
starting? We're
yeah.
live, Mike. We're
Oh my
live.
gosh.
Hey, everyone. Welcome back to the next episode of the 5 to 9 podcast. I'm your co-host, one of your hosts, Vince Mirabelli, and with me, as always, live and direct from the West Side, Michael Martino. Mike, what's up,
What's
buddy?
up, everybody? I just got back from Jiu-Jitsu class. Very tough class today.
Is that
Uh,
jujitsu?
that was supposed to be my Brazilian Portuguese. That's how they talk in the when they do when we're talking Jiu-Jitsu.
Uh-huh.
That's how we start talking. Put a lot of big brash. Very good on side mount. Anyway, just back.
Okay.
I'm excited. I'm all jacked from class, so I think we're gonna have an exciting podcast today.
Fantastic. So,
How are you?
I'm good, Mike. I'm good. I've been busy with other things, but no jujitsu for me. But I've been quite focused on a couple things, and I know we've talked about in the past. Some of the things that some of the ways we've benefited from our having a side gig and having our day-to-day thing and living both of those lives. And I think that's something that we do our best to impress upon people. And maybe we need to talk about some of the reasons why you should have a side gig. Why you not why sorry, not why you should, why you need one. What do you think?
Why you need a sidekick?
Why
Yes.
why do you need a side gig?
And remember, guys, we're not like $100 million entrepreneurs. Like we're going through this too. We've started a side gig. We have this podcast, and we're just talking about what we're going through in building our 5 to 9 or our side gigs or our side hustle. So we're not experts by any means. I mean, there's plenty of other podcasts that they may say they're experts, but we're not. We're just giving advice. We're just showing how we're doing stuff, and hopefully you can learn from it too, and you can apply it. I think we're just a bit ahead of somebody that are listening to this podcast,
Yeah.
so it's good. I think it's good. It's fresh in our minds. Like we're not. This didn't happen to us 10 years ago, and now we're podcasting about it with the luxury of time. Like we're doing stuff, and then we're podcasting about it, and hopefully you can learn from it and take that stuff away. So I think this is a good subject today to
Yeah,
talk
no.
about why you need to have a job plus a side hustle.
Yeah. And you're absolutely right, Mike. Like this, we're very much on the journey of launching a second career, let's call it, or a second, a side gig. Um and yeah, I think the people that are going to benefit the most from us and what we have to share are those people that are, like you said, one or two steps behind us. Because yeah, I would never claim to be an online business or side hustle business expert, but
Guru,
guru,
ninja.
yeah, no, I hate those people.
By the way, I'm not saying you have to listen to ours, but anybody who calls himself a ninja or a guru, don't listen to their stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, we're very much on the journey, and I think that's kind of cool, and hopefully gives us a little bit of a unique perspective in this field, as opposed to folks that are experts. And we're on our way to becoming experts, but you get to see how we evolve towards that. So, anyways, I digress. What are some of the reasons that you need a side gig nowadays? And I'm gonna throw out probably the most obvious. The world of work is not what it was 5-10 years ago. Um, I've heard coming up from the U.S. This concept of the gig economy, where you're on very short contracts. almost gig like, hey, I'm here for 3 months and then I'm going there for 3 months. And what that really speaks to is the shift in employment from, the stable, I join a company after school and I'm there till I retire, to very, very short burst iterations with different companies and a lot of different experiences. So that being said, stability isn't what it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago.
No, you need a plan B.
Yeah.
And this is nothing against any company you work for. You may like your boss, you may like your employees, but I think everybody needs a plan B, because you don't know where the disruption is going to come from. It may not be just, we got to get rid of people. There's going to be a disruption. It's just, when is it going to hit your company? And you need that plan B. So it's important to have. So, I mean, I don't think if you have a family, you need one to make sure you can keep the household going.
Mm-hmm.
It's extremely important to, it's like hedging your bets. It's if bet A doesn't work, then you're gonna have to go to bet B, and it's important.
Right.
Side gigging.
Yeah, and it also means that if you are affected in some way, laid off, terminated, company closes, you just had enough, whatever, it means that your runway to get back up is going to be that much shorter. Because you've kept current and you've built your brand, and people are going to recognize you and recognize some of the value that you can bring to their business. So I think that, being in an unstable environment, and then being able to recover from that, Mike, as you said, keep the household going, keep the lights on. Absolutely critical, because it means you're going to be that much more marketable.
So what you said about the runway, that is extremely important, to have that runway. It's not only financially, but it's like dating. People can smell the desperation.
Mm-hmm.
So if something happens, you're going to be like, emotionally, you're going to be a wreck. You're going to be nervous. How am I going to keep my house, the car, the kids want to do all their stuff that they do? And if you don't have anything built up, like, if you think you're going to lose your job, I'm going to jump on Twitter and I'm going to start doing this. I'm going to get my website up and running, and no, that's not going to happen. You need to have way more patience than that.
Mm-hmm.
So don't think you're going to lose your job this month, and next month you're going to be up and running as an entrepreneur. Not going to happen. And
yeah, and I mean, we've been at this. We're coming up on our 1 year, the 1 year anniversary of this podcast. But even before that, I mean, we've both had a number of different gigs on the side that separate, and the podcast has really brought things together, and we've started to develop a bit of an ecosystem, as you say, Mike, a bit of an ecosystem around this podcast as a sort of a pillar. But it takes time. We are far ahead of where we were 1 year ago, and we'll be far ahead of where we are now in a year. But as you said, Mike, it's not going to happen overnight. There are no overnight successes. You got to put in the work.
Yeah.
And so, put in the work now while you can. So that
while you're not desperate.
While you're not desperate.
So we were experimenting with shorter episodes, and one just came out the other day.
Yes.
But we have the luxury of doing that because we have our day job, and we're looking at the numbers for the podcast, and we're thinking, what other value can we bring? That's because we have the luxury of kind of we're loose. It's like a sports team, like a hockey team.
Mm-hmm.
Loose. They're making the great plays. They're not tight. And then all of a sudden, a month later, that same team can't score a goal. They're tight. They're playing horrible. It's just that confidence. And if you don't have that runway when you have that worry behind you. If you don't start a side gig now while you're in a job that has some stability, I think it's you're doing yourself a disservice and your family a disservice.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Which I think leads us to number 2 about developing new skills. I think they go like they kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah.
About do it now, but at the same time, when you're doing it now, you're developing a whole bunch of skills, which are going to help with as you move in your side gig. But these are skills you can bring back to your day job. So let's say your day job is the same kind of a thing as your 5 to 9. You can bring that, or it could be something completely different, but all of a sudden they say, we want to start a blog, and you've been doing this for like 2 years. Mm-hmm. Dude, you're there. Bang, bang, bang. You want a blog? Bang, bang. You want a podcast? Bang, bang. But you could, whatever the case may be, you have the new skills, for your side gig, but also for your day job. It helps both.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And being able to credibly say you've done something is important. We've both experimented a little bit with, different media, different, we've been recording. I've started recording videos of myself just as I, am out in the world, and I did like 4 or 5 quick 1 to 2 minute hits the other day, and it gets easier. So now to stand in front of a camera and record, I could be a weatherman. I don't know. Like, have you ever recorded any videos for I don't know, that's a bit ridiculous, but
I think we brought this up the other day.
We did, yeah.
We both do. Vince and I both do a lot of presentations. Vince, way ahead of me, he's on the circuit.
Oh boy!
But at our day gig, we both have to present, and we have to present multiple times a week, and maybe sometimes we're not as ready as we should be, but I think doing the podcast helps us think on our feet, and we've obtained a lexicon, and we're working on being able to pull different ideas together really quickly, and I think that really helps. And it's not an excuse for not being ready, but stuff happens, or someone asks a question, and it's the difference between just standing there and thinking of something and being able to like fire back, mm-hmm. making it seem like you know exactly what you're talking about, but you're putting together different ideas, which the podcast has nothing to do with presentation, but I think there's a link there. And so anything you learn outside helps you.
Yeah,
helps you with your day gig and your side gig.
No, absolutely. And I actually just had that exact thing happen, Mike. I was doing a presentation downtown Toronto on Wednesday, this past Wednesday, and towards the end, somebody asked a question that has never been asked before, and I've been doing this presentation for about a year now, and said, "Hey, this is all well and good." I'm paraphrasing now. This is all well and good that you're bringing new innovative ideas, and you're doing some new things, and you're asking the right questions, and and
you're moving, you're shaking.
But where does the customer come in? Like, at what point are you talking to your customer? And I said, you know what? Hands up. My bad. I assume, and so this is my response now. I assume when you are doing anything in business, you are talking to your customers so that you know what their pain is, what opportunities are there, what products they want, how they want to deal with you, how do they want to engage with you. I assume, probably incorrectly, but I assume you're doing that. Because if you're not,
right,
wow, what are you doing? Then yes, then what I'm teaching you is far beyond where you should be. So maybe my bad for giving you more credit or giving you and your business more credit. But I assume you're talking to your customers, because if you're not,
yeah,
then who cares? Then you could do anything and it doesn't matter. So, but that was a question that has never been asked before, and I was ready for it. I mean, I wasn't ready for it, but I had a quick answer, right, because that, and it helps that, you know, I strongly believe in what I said. And so it wasn't like I was making up something just to placate the asker or to you know, I believe if you're not talking to your customers, then you're not maximizing the value that you can give them. That being said, it would have been really easy to just stand there like,
What? That's what I'm saying.
so, you know, we do
Yeah.
have a little, we've gotten a lot of practice doing this. And yeah, I know, you know, we've chatted about it. We're both very, very comfortable now. Oh, you need a presentation in half an hour? Done. Like, okay. Okay.
hmm
And you go do it. So anyways,
I
there
give a
you
lot
go.
of credit to I give a lot of credit of that to the podcast, being
Yeah.
able to just riff like that. So that's number 2.
All right.
Uh,
Now I'm gonna do because I found that a lot of the stuff that I do on the side brings me a lot of joy. I ended up recording a video after the presentation that I did the other day about you know, how do you know that you're in the zone. So look for that one soon on the YouTube. It's coming out. But how do you,
on the YouTube.
so how do you know when you're in the zone, and how do you know, and it really comes to this realization that, you know, you can do things on the side that bring you joy, that are things that you love to do. And that might be writing, that might be teaching, that might be you know, podcasting, it might be sales, it might, like, it could be anything. But the fact of the matter is, you get to choose what you do. So you can do what you want to do in the field that you want to do, in something that you love, that you're drawn to. I hate throwing that word passion around, because I don't, like, you can make a lot of money in a side gig doing something you're not passionate about, because, you know, maybe your passion is, like, I don't know, worm farming. I don't know. But
That's what it is.
and if that's what it is, great. But you can choose to do what you love to do in your side gig. And I mean, I've been a little bit fortunate. I get to do something that I enjoy doing from 9 to 5, but not many people are in that boat. Not many people get to do what they want to do and what they love to do. So this gives you a sense of, and I'm gonna rant almost over, Mike. It's gonna give you a more of a sense of fulfillment in being able to do something not because you have to do it because your boss says so, but doing something because you want to do it because you say so.
Yeah. And what I'm going to say is, mic drop. I'm going to say is, you should, not that you should, you have to do in your side gig the thing that you love, because you've worked all day. And what you don't want is, after going all through the crap that you have to go in a day, because even if you do what you love during the day, there's always things that creep in that you don't want to do. So political things, someone's feeling, oh, we got to do this administrative thing. You got to go do that on that like, that's the stuff. So maybe in the 8 hours that you work, you're actually doing the thing that you love, like 3, because the rest of the time you got to go to a meeting you don't want to go to. So when you come home, if you have to do something that's a task, guess what? You're not going to do it. You know, that night, I'm going to watch TV. I'm going to go do this. So it's just like, if you don't like going to the gym, and you then going to say, after work, I'm going to go to the gym, but you don't really like going, you're not going to go. You're going to find every excuse not to go, which is the same thing with your side gig. You're going to find every excuse not to do the thing that you want to do. So if it's something that you love, it no longer becomes even a side gig. It's just something that you like and you love to do, and hopefully you can make some money from it. But if you just, I can make money doing this, so I'm going to do it, and it's not what you really want to do, forget it. That's not side gigging.
Yeah, because you're going to lose that authenticity. You're not going to be authentic, and people know when they're being sold to, versus when they're engaged with someone that actually believes everything that they're saying and they buy into it. You know what I mean? Like, that authenticity can't be faked. And if you are talented enough that you can fake it, it's not going to be for long. You're gonna slip up, or you're gonna say something, or you're gonna do something out of character, and then you're gonna alienate everyone that believes in you. So if you don't believe what you're doing, then why are you doing it? So we believe very much in this. Now, again, I'll give an example. I did a lot this week. I had never built a landing page. So this speaks to the whole love what you're doing, Mike. I'd never built a landing page, and I was trying to figure out how can I get, because a lot of the conferences that I speak at, they want the material controlled because it's your intellectual property. But I'm a big believer in sharing my knowledge, and if you like it and you want to hire me, great. Hire me to consult or whatever. That's fine. If you just want it and you don't think it's any good, I mean, okay, let me know because I'll make it better. But so I figured out. So I went and I set up an account with a landing page provider because I needed to figure out how to get people the content that I was going to present to them. And so, this was something that popped up in my head at like 10:30 at night. And by midnight, I was done. And I had built it and I tested it and it was great. I could think of 1,000 different things that I could have done during that hour and a half. That, I could have slept. I could have done, well, I'm not going to go through the list. But I could have done a lot of different, I could have watched TV. I could have played some video games. I could have, whatever. But for that hour and a half, it was like, I got to figure this out because I want to be able to give that value to the people that I'm presenting to tomorrow. So the 60, 70 people that are going to be in my session, I want them to be able to get something from me. And it doesn't have to be a paid thing. Here it is. So that wasn't about making money. That wasn't about, that wasn't a task. It was I need to do this. How do I make it happen?
I think that's important what you said. It wasn't a task. It's something that you wanted to do. Because if it was a task, it'd have been like, I spent an hour and a half. I spent an hour and a half. What a drag. Wasted my time.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's the same hour and a half, just the perspective's different. You've switched the perspective on what you're doing.
Right.
Which I think leads then to, I'm going to talk about time and your time management. So there's a lot of people say, I don't have time for a side gig. It's true. You work, you have kids, but it's also true that this is I'm not going to go there. It's a study out of the US, and I'm pretty sure it hangs out in you're throwing me off with the violin. I can't even talk.
Sorry, Mike.
This study probably is pretty close in Canada. Yeah. That between the ages of 35 and 49, they spend 33 hours a week watching TV. 33 hours? Good googly moogly. What in the hell are you watching? I get it. There's a lot of good shows. I got it. I get it. But do you have to watch the whole, and this was I said this recently. Do you have to watch the whole HBO catalog? Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you have to watch every sport? Or if you like a certain sport, can you just watch one game? Like, I love the NFL, but I only watch Dallas. And if Dallas isn't on, I'll watch the game of the week. But it's one game, and it's on Sunday, we've had family dinner, but you don't have to watch Thursday, pre-game, post-game, every game, Sunday night, Monday night. Dude, just pick one. You don't have to pick everything. So there's time. There's 33 hours. You imagine if you use those 33 hours a week, and I'm not even saying you have to use the 33 hours. Use half. Use half that week. You're at 15 hours, which is even less than half. 15 hours to work on your side gig a week is gold.
Yeah.
Absolute gold.
Because every hour that you put in is going to get you 1 hour closer.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna throw because I'm gonna go out on a limb, Mike, and I'm gonna say that's an average of 33 hours.
Yes. There's probably
So what?
some people watching
So
a
what that
shit
means?
boatload more.
What that means is that 85 to 95% of the population. I'm using my Six Sigma stuff now. 95% of the population is probably somewhere between like 28 and 40 hours, roughly.
Sure.
40 hours.
that's a work
That's a
week.
That's a second job.
You have a second job watching TV. So why don't you have a second job doing something that gives you all the stuff that we've already talked about and some cash? Because everyone wants some of
Yeah,
that. Like
or
what
some joy. Like
you're not gonna get anything of just watching all those hours of TV.
no,
That is a boatload of TV that you should not be watching.
no, 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 no.
And we're not saying not to watch TV. If you
Sure.
like one of those shows and you want to like, especially when you're dead tired, and I don't want to rail against any show. You want to watch The Housewives after you've worked a ton of hours, you did your side gig, you've done stuff with the kids, and you just want to like have your mind go somewhere for
Disconnect.
an hour?
Yeah.
For sure. Sit down with it, not a problem. But you don't have to watch like every version of it. New York, Miami, like Orange County. Pick one. That's what we're saying. We're not even saying to spend all those 40 hours. Devote some.
I'm quite proud of the fact that I have literally no idea what you're talking about.
You have no idea.
The Housewives. What the hell is that?
You know what? The Housewives of any, there's like the whole franchise. The Housewives of Orange County, New Jersey, I don't know. All of them. I'm telling you.
Okay. Well, so instead of delving into the lives of the housewives, let me show you.
Pick one.
Yeah, no. Well, yeah, fine, whatever. But instead of delving into the lives of the housewives, I have done a lot in the field of number 4, which is number 5. Sorry, we talked about number. Sorry, I lost track. The fifth reason why you need a side gig is all of the connections that you can make. So while y'all are watching Housewives, I have grown my network, which grows my reach, which grows the reach of this show, which, it all starts to snowball. So I have met a lot of people over my travels and through my side gigs, and some of them we've had on the show. Bob comes to mind, Bob the BA. But I've met people through my adjunct faculty gig at a local university business school. I've met a number of people through the various conferences that I attend or speak at. I've met a number of people that have connected me to some other, like, hey, someone saw you at a presentation and they thought you would be great to talk to, or hey, I saw you present and I'm putting this other thing together. Would you like to come and participate and maybe sit on a panel or something? Like, these things have allowed me to grow my network and connect with people, which for someone like me is really hard to do. So it probably doesn't come across clear on this podcast, but I am by nature a pretty introverted person. It is not easy for me to go and talk to people. Like, let me give you an example, Mike, and then I'll let you jump in because I think I've been talking for a while. When I go to a conference and it's lunchtime, I try to be one of the first through the line, and it's not because I'm hungry or whatever. It's because I want to be able to go and sit at a table in the main area where there's no one else. That's probably sounds bad, but it's a little bit strategic. I have a hard time approaching other people and introducing myself. But if someone approaches me and introduces themselves, I'm good. You know, does that make any sense? Or am I just
Absolutely. No, I do exactly the same thing.
I know I'm a little bit broken, but yeah, it's a lot easier for me because I have a hard time starting conversations with people. And I always feel like, you know, that to me is a lot easier. So, you know, come on up. Come on up and talk. Like,
right. So I'm exactly the same way.
Okay, cool.
I don't like, it's not my nature to be the, hey, what's going on? But it's important to make connections because you have to have customers and partners and suppliers. It forces me to have to go to do these things because that's what's going to help bring our business forward. But it also helps me in other parts of my life, right? Because I know that I've brought the kids to some school events, and my wife will BBM me and go, "So you talking with all the parents?" And I'm like, "No, I'm off to the side by myself." No, you should be. These are the people whose kids that your kids are friend with. You should actually go speak to them. You shouldn't be off to the corner like, "Oh, I don't want to go talk to them." And so it's vitally important that you do these things, you make these connections, and you do that hustle to go meet them because A, it's going to bring you business, but B, it's going to help you get out of being that wallflower.
Yeah. And the great thing is I recognize this.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do about it. So, all right.
Just keep every time, we've said this 100 times. If you've done it once, you've done it twice, it's better than not doing it at all. You've done it 4 times, it's better than it's only doing it once. So it's something every day.
Right.
And all right. The last one is the interwebs. I mean, when back in the old days, it was hard to do a side gig. You didn't have the reach, the connection, even the tools. Like this podcast is basically free. Our blogs are free, basically. I mean, you get a domain name for like $10.
Yeah,
you have time, but remember, before it was time plus you needed to find ways to do marketing the old way,
right?
Not from your house, and that's just doing it that way. But there are a whole bunch of sites like Fiverr, Elance, even LinkedIn has ProFinder. You can just put your name out there and people can find you. So it's easier than ever. There's no excuse for you not to be able to get the tools for virtually free that you want to run your business with, and then be able to promote yourself through all the social, search engine. We didn't have Google. When I first started doing side gigs, there was no Google, or it wasn't to the extent it is now.
Sure.
And just like you found on the Google, this great editing, you can edit video right in YouTube.
Yeah.
And you were showing me the other day. My friend, those weren't around before. You had to go buy editing software that would cost a boatload of money.
Yeah.
Dude, now it's free. It's right there. I mean, it's not super professional, but it's good enough.
It's good enough for where we are at this point.
Yes. And it's good enough for most people that have a 5 to 9 right now.
Right.
You don't need, we both love Gary Vee.
Yeah.
We'll just put it out there.
Yeah.
But you don't need editing software like Gary Vee's people have. You don't need that. You're not Gary Vee yet. Don't look at him and say, "Oh, I can't do anything because I don't have any of that stuff."
Yeah.
It's baloney.
I mean, this is a guy who has a guy who follows him around.
D-Rock.
I don't know that I ever want that.
Well, I think he's not doing it because he just wants you to look at his life. What he's trying to show is this is what it takes. He has a goal and he's trying to document how he's getting to his goal.
Yes.
So it's very cool, but you don't need that right now. No one's Gary Vee who's listening. You're not Gary Vee right now.
You know
So
who's
don't
Gary
look.
Vee? Gary Vee's Gary Vee.
That's right. So
'Cause
don't
even if-
look
Sorry.
at him and go, "Oh, I can't do any of that, so I'm not going to do anything." No, you can use your phone. You can use for video or even audio. You can upload it to YouTube. You can edit video there. You can create slide. There's no excuse not to be able to do these things.
Mhm.
And you don't always have to be out of your house to do it. So, I can't because I have a family. Yes, you can.
Mhm.
I'm doing this from home. You're doing it from home. I edit
Mhm.
it from home. There's no reason not to be able to do this with the power of the internet,
Mhm.
which are, yeah. I don't know what else to say about that.
No, that's it.
I just don't want to hear. I don't want to hear that it can't be done because the tools are there.
It can be done because people do it. So it's a matter of, can you put in the work to make it happen? That's it. Are you willing?
Yep,
are you
that's
willing to work for what you want?
Yeah,
Because it's not coming to you.
and it's not easy.
It's not easy, and it's not coming to you.
And which that'll be the topic of the next episode about. You look at the social medias, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and it looks like it's all glamour. Don't believe
Yeah.
the hype. It's a lot of work, but it's work that you would want to. It's work that you want to do, so you should do it, and the time is there.
But that's the next episode.
Yes, as Dre would say, next episode.
Yeah. All right. Any other last thoughts there, Mike? That was a good one there, buddy.
We're fired up today.
Yeah.
I know. I came back from the gym, so I'm like, woof.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're. I have nothing else. So
Okay.
I think what I would want is please comment, please rate. It'll only help us get the topics that you're looking for, the things that you want to hear, and
share. Don't forget share.
Yes,
Share.
absolutely.
We like people sharing. We share our knowledge. We want you to share our knowledge with your people. All right. So again, as always, Vince and Mike here. Hit us up on LinkedIn. Hit us up on Twitter at Mike Martino, at Vince _Mirabelli. You can get us on Instagram. Like we're all over the place. Exciting announcement coming up in episode 50. So this is episode 48. 2 episodes till an exciting announcement from the 5 to 9 podcast. Check it out.
See everybody.
Bye.